Okay folks, what we're going to do next is I'm going to finish digging this out deeper at the end here. But the one thing we're going to have to do, and we're going to round up his tassel a little bit more. Alright, just like so. It's not a big deal to do it. Alright, and we're going to put a couple of folds in his brim portion here before we actually start doing some of the other stuff. The other thing I want to do is I just want to take the hard edge off that hat. Okay, just like so. Just take the hard edge off. Follow that all the way down and around. And take that tip off of that hat a little bit. Alright. Now, let me see if I can find my wonderful, wrong toolbox. I gotta go down a little deeper here. Yeah, here we go. My micro set. I love this thing. I really do. Alright. These are Dockyards. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of different looks to the... I'm going to take my sprayer and I'm going to spray it pretty well. I'm just going to let it sit for a second here. Just makes it a little easier to cut it, especially if it goes in a different direction than what it feels like it should. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this. Let me see if I can just hang on for a second. I need to move here and get my one set of glasses here so I can see this a little better. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple things. We're going to use a V-tool and we're going to use a little gouge G number 4, and I'm just going to start taking out little hunks of his mustache out. Okay, just like so. Same thing over here. Nothing crazy, just a little bit here and there, and I'm going to do the beard the same way. Now this is what's called the soft look. If you want to leave it that way, you can. You don't have to do it with a V-tool, but I'm going to. If you don't have a V-tool, you can do everything with a knife, and I'll show you in a second how to go about to do that if you choose to. And I'm just taking little strokes here, and I like going up to the edge. You want to be careful you don't nail this. You see how I'm holding my thumb against it and just using little strokes here to... I love this set. I really do. I wish I found this a few years ago. It would have made things a little more enjoyable. Normally I'm not a gouge person, but for this kind of stuff I think you can get better effects with using it than not using it. And it's just much quicker. Now I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to head the other way, just like so. Alright, just like so. And I'm controlling the depth with my hand. I'm using this portion of my hand to push it along. Now just a word of caution, if you have a glove on, it is not going to protect you from stabs for the most part unless you have one of those metal ones, which I've never used them, so I don't know how comfortable they are or not. Alright, so this is the first look that I have. Alright, now you can leave it like that. That gives you a better idea what it looks like. Alright, I'm going to show you the other one. See how rough it looks the other way? Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same thing, probably a little smaller, and I'm going to do show you a little bit of what I'm going to do to the hat with it. The tassel part I'll show you. Let me round that off a little bit more. We're going to just make a nice little distinction there. I love using that water and alcohol. It just softens the wood so much nicer. At first I didn't care for it, but I'll tell you, the benefits when you get used to doing it this way outweighs you know, the dampness that you feel when you cut. But it does cut like butter. It's absolutely wonderful. See, now I just did a depth cut again, and you can see the difference. As soon as I do that, make that V cut, it makes a world of difference. And it can be something as simple as a V cut that can make or break your carving. It really can. It can add so much depth and character to your carving when you do that. Alright, so what we're going to do now, we're going to continue with the beard because I'm not ready to do the other yet. Now I have a bunch of little V tools. Let me bring this over here so I can see it better. And I'm going to go with a little bit of a wider one, which is the V3. So I used a G4 for the gouge, and I used a V3. And you can see how teeny tiny it is. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm pretty sure you can. See how tiny that is? It has a little V cut. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take this and we're going to go over the same thing, but we're going to put little V cuts in different locations. Just like so. And these are the only two I'm going to use on this one. And I'm going to go in pretty deep here and there and everywhere. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to head towards the edge of the beard. Okay. Same thing here. I'm going to go to the edge of the beard. Just got to be careful sometimes when you do this that you can get a clean cut. Alright, see the difference in this? And when you see something that's a little higher, you can go back over it. See the difference? Now this is without the V-cut, this is with the V-cut. It does add something to your piece. Okay, now you can go back over it with a smaller V-cut if you want, to make a little finer lines in there. It's endless the amount of different textures you can put in a piece. And you want to just be careful you don't run your edge up into another piece. Alright, or another section of your carving. Now here, it's not deep enough for my liking, so I'm going to go right up here like so, and I'm going to cut it just straight in to give it some depth. Okay, now this already kind of has it. Not really. Let's redo this a little bit, and we'll just put that in just a tad. Alright, that gives it some depth. He's starting to look really good here, folks. I never know what these things are going to look like until I start carving them. It's as much a surprise to me as it is to you. It really is. Okay, I see we're almost out of time. When we come back, we'll finish that up, and we'll start on the hat. I'll finish that offline and come back. Alright, folks.